What's up guys, and welcome back to the channel. In this video, I'll do a full and honest review of a welding machine we just received from YesWelder. And if you're in the market for a new welder, you'll definitely want to watch this video. You know, there's two things about YouTube I honestly never expected, is all the genuine helpful advice we get from all the subscribers, and also the companies that reach out to us to give us tools to try out and use. So YesWelder said they watch our videos and saw we'll be doing some body work on this old Toyota Camry, and they asked if they could send us a welding machine to help us out. And I thought that was really great of them, and they didn't ask for anything in return. So if you like me, you probably never heard of this company. So I did some research because I honestly only know of Miller, Lincoln, and probably Hobart. And so I watched some YouTube videos, I read up on the company, and I learned that this machine really has a lot of technology packed into it. It's a MIG, TIG, and stick welding machine all in one. So let's go over some of the machine's features, and I'll tell you some of the pros and the cons, and then we can go try it out and do some welding. So this won't be a how to set up video. There are several of those already on YouTube, and they do a great job on those videos. This is going to be more my honest opinion, just from a hobbyist. So first, let's go over the MIG part. It has a 2T or 4T button. 2T is for short spot welds controlled by the gun trigger, and 4T is for long welds. You basically pull the trigger and then let off, and it keeps welding. Then you pull the trigger again to stop the welding. Next is if you're using straight CO2 shielding gas or a mix. We're using a mix, so we'll use the mag feature. And you can also use the machine without gas if you have flux core wire. Then you can select the wire size you are using, and there you have three options. Since we plan to weld body panels on this Camry, we bought the 0.023 inch wire. So after all that is selected, you dial in the machine by one of four values, whichever you prefer, which is really the beauty of this machine that I love. It takes all the guesswork out for us amateurs. You can adjust it for amperage, voltage, metal thickness, or inductance. Now, I didn't really know what inductance is, but it works by creating a magnetic field that opposes the welding current, slowing the rate of rise. So basically, it just helps reduce splatter. So I think for me, it's easier just to enter the material thickness and let the machine's computers just set it all up. So stick welding is even simpler. Plug in your welding lead, select stick welding, then just dial in the amps. And a rule of thumb is to use 30 amps per 1/32 inch of rod diameter. So that would mean using 90 amps of current on a rod that's 3/32 inch in diameter, or 120 amps for a 1/8 inch thick rod. Lastly, TIG. Now, I don't know anything about TIG, but I want to learn. So I plan to buy the torch soon and learn how to do that. Some pros about the machine. It has a lot of technology built into the machine. You get a lot of value for the price. It's a lot more budget friendly than the big name brands. Very easy to use and takes all the guesswork out for us amateurs. And the YesWelder customer support is excellent. They message back very fast with any answers that you have concerns with. Now some cons. The machine only comes set up for 0.030 or 0.035 inch welding. So I had to buy the little feeder wheel and the tips to set it up for 0.023 inch wire. It doesn't come with a TIG gun. That's extra if you plan to TIG weld. And all of the thicknesses are in millimeters, so you have to measure. If you measure with your American calipers, you have to convert it to millimeters. And it would have been a lot better if they maybe put a sticker on the door where you can convert it yourself, but I just took a picture with my phone and I have it saved, so I can just refer to that. And probably one other con would be the instruction book. It's not the best, but there are plenty of excellent YouTube videos that are way better than any instruction book anyway. And also, I probably would have never read the book, to be honest. All right, let's try the machine out and see how it works. All right, so let's get started. Another great thing about this machine, you can either plug it in to 110 or to have this 220 adapter. And all you do is just put the adapter in and plug it in. You don't have to swap any kind of leads, do anything on the inside like some machines do. The computer does it all itself. So we're gonna plug it in. I put me it's a 3-prong plug. It's not the 4-prong. So I put me a 3-prong here, and I have a 50 amp breaker. So that's that. We have, oh, and when you do MIG, you have to take this lead and plug into there and turn it. But if you was doing stick welding, this is where your positive for the stick welding would go. Let's put this in, you just turn it. Get our ground clamp on. And this is the rustiest old piece of metal I can find, so we're really gonna put it to the test to see how good it is. And this is way too thick for us to be using .023 wire, so we're just gonna be welding a bead on the top. It's not really gonna penetrate. Oh, and one other thing right here. On the inside, we have a 10-pound spool of the wire. So you can either use 2-pound or 10-pound. I know some videos said you can't use 2-pound, but I guess the newer models you can because it adapts to it. But I just went ahead and got the 10-pound because I figured I'd be practicing a lot and waste a lot. So let's turn it on. We'll turn our gas on, get our settings. I'm gonna just go with a higher setting because it's not gonna match that thickness. And we'll put a bead down, see how it works. All right, I got the machine all set up. I measured it with my calipers and it was .200. And I did the conversion and that comes out to 5 millimeters. And I know this is gonna be flashing on camera, but it's not flashing in real life. So you press this to get here to thickness and you just dial it in to 5 millimeters. So the machine is set up, then it goes back and shows you at 87 amps, 18.9 volts. I got my gas on. One way to test, see if you have the right amount of gas, you press this button and it raises this little flow meter up. And I have it at 15 right now. I think that's good. If you think I need more, let me know, but most people use 15 to 20. So everything is set up and it's ready to go. So let me put my shirt on and gloves. We'll try it out, then we're gonna try the stick welding out. All right, let's try it out. I need one of those auto darkening hoods. This is one of those old timey ones. Back in the 90s when I was a kid. Not too bad. It's a lot of buildup. I might have to do a lot of practice. This is what I'm gonna really be practicing on, because I'm gonna have to be doing a lot of spot welding, not so much long welds. All right, I think it came out pretty good. Keep in mind, I don't have the right wire for this kind of steel. Plus I was going kind of slow, so it's all puddled up together and it didn't really penetrate. So now let's swap over to stick welding, which I'm more experienced at, and see how that works out. All right, turning the gas off because we don't need that on stick welding. We'll take this lead out, plug in our stick welding lead, put it in, quarter turn. We got our ground clamp on, and then all we'll do on here is change it over to stick welding. Then that's it, it's ready to stick weld. But here's the problem. All I have is 6013 rods. This is known as a hippie rod because you can weld basically on rusted up stuff, painted up stuff, and it does good. The only rods you can use with this machine is 6011 and 7018 because that's the AC plus or minus, whatever that it needs. This one you can't, but we're gonna try anyway, see how it works out. It's not gonna break the machine, it's just not gonna weld as good. So we'll put this in, and then we'll put the gear on and try it out. All right, all you have to do to swap it over here to stick welding, see right now we're on this, here's the stick welding little button, so that's it. So now we need to swap our amps. Go by amps for this. We're using 1/8 rods, so I'll start out around 120. And that's all the settings you have to do. Then you can always go back and tweak them later if you need to. That's probably some of the worst welding I've ever done, but remember, you can't use that kind of rod with this machine. I just want to show you how you can swap it over to stick welding. I'm gonna go tomorrow and get some new rods and try it out. Should be way better. So this is the old door off the Camry. I cut me a groove in it, I sanded it down. This is what I'm gonna start practicing on, try to learn how to do body panels. So I got this set up. This is what I really want the MIG welding machine for. So I just gotta learn to keep tack welding this little cut all the way up. Just like when I do the quarter panel on that car, I'm gonna tack weld it. Then you grind it down smooth. So, and you can't do it with the shield that I have. You really need an auto darkening kind. So I'm gonna have to do it with the old close your eyes technique. So let me trim my wire. And it's basically just small little tack welds all the way down. All right, guys, this is my very first time using a MIG machine. I own a panel, sheet panel for a car. I know it's not pretty. It's not the welding machine's fault. I still have a lot more practice to do. I'm gonna just keep practicing on this door till I get good enough that I can weld the Camry up myself. So I ground it down. Still have a lot of little holes in there. So if you have any tips or tricks for me, let me know down in the comments. And oh, one other thing, YesWelder gave me a discount code, so if any of you are interested in purchasing it, look down in the description and I think you get 10% off. And that's gonna be it. And we will see you next time.